guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for joining me, guys. Welcome to the video here. Today we're going to do a full champion guide on the new epic free champion. After you play this game for 150 days, you could be the lucky winner of a Lordly Legionary, a epic champion Bannerlord Magic Affinity. So I'm going to cut to the chase here on this champion, but I built him out using some of the best gear on my entire account. I actually decided to build him for damage, because what else am I going to build him for, right? I mean, your options are a bit limited on this champion, but I want to be fair, right? So first off, he is a below average epic champion inside the game. There's really no doubt about it. But the good news is he is free, granted, after 150 days of playing the game. Usually after 150 days of playing this game, you probably have better options than Lordly Legionary, but that doesn't mean everybody does. He is still at the end of the day a free champion, and if you look at his kit and compare him to rare champions, for example, because again, he is accessible, right? Accessibility being key in this game, I do think that he would be an above average rare champion. And because he's free and more accessible, then I think that it's warranted to at least give that point of view. Like, hey man, some people don't have a million legendary champions. Some people actually, they'll take what they can get. And Lordly Legionary, I feel like if you invest in him, you could probably say this about a lot of champions, he could serve a couple roles on your team. So today we'll talk about that. I built him out for a ton of damage because I wanted to push him to his limits, so that way you guys can see, hey, if I invest in this dude who I'm going to get for free anyway, what is that going to look like? What's my end game with Lordly Legionary? That's what we're going to do in today's video. So real quick about his kit here. Press to Fight is an interesting A1. It can be a one-hitter, it can be a two-hitter minimum, or a three-hitter, or a four-hitter, if they have the 100% heal reduction. That's why he's really built for Fire Knight, because you can pair him with Cold Heart. They make a great tandem because she'll be laying the heal reduction and he'll be hitting more on the Press the Fight ability. He's pretty easy to book. There's only one level on this last one. There's 4 levels on the first one. This outflank has really all of the books on him, but compared to other epic champions, he's fairly easy to. You really want to get the outflank down to a 3-turn cooldown if you're going to be using this champion, so he does require books to get the full use out of him, like most champions in the game, right? Attacks one enemy, 75% chance, 100% chance when booked of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and then decreases the target's turn meter by 20% if the decreased speed debuff is placed. So basically, for this outflank, it does scale pretty well. The multiplier is not too bad on this. I'm hitting for about 60 to 70k. We'll take him in the arena as well, because you can use him in the arena, you can use him in Fire Knight, despite the mismatch affinity. Man, if he was a Spirit Affinity champion, we'd be so much more excited about him being an endgame viable Fire Knight champion, but he's not, so that takes away a lot of his utility. And then Legion's orders is A3, places the reflect damage buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So nice to have that reflectability and the continuous heal on the A3. So again, like you looking at his kit with the multi-hitter, the 4-chance hitter on the A1, and then the reflect on there as well, with the turn meter manipulation here on the A2, it screams Fire Knight, and you can use him, of course, in Fire Knight's 19, or if there's an all epic tournament for Fire Knight, which I'm sure there will be at some point with these new tournaments, hey, he would definitely be on my all epic team, like maybe him and Allure being kind of the turn meter champions and helping out with the reflect as well. So anyway, that is his kit. In terms of masteries, guys, you have some options here. If I turn my chair a little bit, you'll see that I went down with War Master. I think War Master is going to be pretty standard on him. Giant Slayer may be an option, but it's only a 2-hitter unless, the heal reduction and stuff on his A1. So I decided to go War Master. And then on the support tree, I actually probably should take off Lore of Steel because I went with the Savage gear. I actually did the Masteries before the artifacts, which you probably should not do. So, that's kind of your option there. You could always go with Cycle of Magic if you want to instead. I went with Evil Eye, and I also went with Master Hexer on the bottom. And just the standard stuff. stuff, adding accuracy to his stats in the beginning here of the support tree, and adding, of course, crit rate and crit damage with the deadly precision and the keen strike abilities. So in terms of his artifacts, again, like I said, guys, the number one priority on your Lordly Legionary should be, well, his damage is based on attack percentage, so take that in mind. He's an attack-based champion. That's why I decided to actually build him out to be able to attack. His base attack at 1354 is respectable. It's not, god tier by any stretch, and again, his multipliers don't seem to be that bad. Speed at 96 is, is average slash a little bit below average, but we did put speed boots on him. I'm building him out. I'm looking for, I wanted to put crit damage gauntlets on him, and I ended up doing so. So we went crit damage on the gauntlets, and we went crit rate. We prioritized crit rate on the rest of the artifacts. So if I have him in a savage set and a crit rate set, trying to get that crit rate up as well. I have a crit rate chest on him. It is an attack chest because of that accuracy roll. Wow, 50 accuracy on that chest. Yes, please. I want him to land the decreased speed so we can also land the turn meter reducer by 20% in addition to that. And then, so crit rate, attack on the chest. If he is dying for you, if he's not making it to the Fire Knight or wherever you're using him, consider putting him in a defense or an HP chest. I don't have a problem with that at all, so I decided to build him out this way. I went with a banner accuracy. You definitely want to be going accuracy on his banner. I went crit damage on his amulet, and I went with an attack ring just to boost up his offensive stats because, again, I knew that he wouldn't be dying. He's not a champion you're going to be using in Clan Boss, so I don't think you have to go crazy in building him out with a bunch of defense, including the ring, unless he's just dying for you, okay? So that is it. His base defense at 947 isn't too bad either. So again, my total stats here are 3,500 attack, right where I want it to be, honestly, when building out like kind of a high damage single target hitter. I'm really prioritizing crit damage rather than just boosting up with as much attack as possible. I'd rather have the speed boots on this champion. So defense right under 2k, that's fine for dungeons. 174 is good for the speed. Debuff accuracy 272, perfect. I have his resist pretty high as well thanks to the Great Hall benefits there. Same thing with my Magic Affinity Great Hall is my furthest in my Great Hall. I'll show you that in a second. But the Savage is going to be great too. Ignore 25% of enemy defense. You could make the case, and maybe I should try with Helm Smasher, right? Having that chance to ignore 50% on all his hits of the enemy defense. Yeah, maybe I could try that out too. Something to experiment with certainly in the future. So in terms of his reviews, guys, again, Fire Knight, I'm going to give him a 4 just because of, in the end game, he's not going to be very Fire Knight viable. I hate to say it sucks. But if he was endgame viable, if the affinities didn't match up, he's going to be scoring weak hits time and time again against those waves. He's really going to make your time much longer overall, and that's what sucks about him. And then Faction Wars, he's going to be great. I'm going to be using him in Faction Wars. That's one of the reasons I built him out. I wouldn't build him out just for full disclaimer. I wouldn't be building this champion out or investing any resources in him on my account unless I was going to do this guide for you guys. So campaign locations, we'll give him a 4. Again, it's dependent on the other champions you have, right? I mean, not bad with a continuous heal reflect damage as well. Same thing with Miniatures Labyrinth. You can use him there. Arena offense, again, he's definitely not built for arena, but I'm talking early to mid game here. When you're logging in at 150 days in this game, assuming you started when that update, when that patch was available for the new login rewards, I think that you probably have better options, to be fair, but you might not. You might want to add him to your arena team, who knows? So that's kind of where I see him potentially being used. Now let's go ahead and just use him here. Like I said, Great Hall, just so you guys can see, my magic is 10 out of 10 accuracy, resist, and crit damage. Kind of working my way up in the other 3 stats here as well. Probably prioritizing defense next, but right now I'm just working on getting my crit damage maxed out as well, and then probably accuracy. Then we'll kind of move along here. Anyway, let's start out with using him in the arena, guys. Again, he's not, I want to be very clear here, he is not like an end game viable arena champion. Maybe viable with the right team around him like we're going to do today, but he's not going to be like an S-tier arena champ, and he's not going to be a speed farmer in like a nuker comp either. He's a single damage hitter, so, kind of like a Solomon Bowyer type role in or a Killian role, and frankly, those 2 champions are probably better than him. But either way, he does hit pretty hard. Let's go ahead and test him out here against this pretty powerful team. Excuse me. So we're going to start out with a speed boost with the Sandra, and we're going to CC the enemy team. You'll notice that I put him on this team because he's my only damage dealer, okay? He's the only one dealing damage on my side. So we're going to use his A2. You guys are going to see how hard it can hit here. I'm going to go after, well, I was going to maybe go after a Seeker, but there we go, 47k in a one-shot. So you can see that he hits decently hard, right? On that, I'm actually going to go after Mountain King here because look at his turn meter is so low anyway, and I wasn't sure if Lysandra's would land. So we're going to go ahead and reboot his A2 and see if we can't kill somebody else here. So let's see what we can do. All right, he is up next. And again, you know, I don't really want to be using his A3 in Arena, you know? I mean, it's not the worst ability, but let's see what he can do against Valkyr. Really high defense. Let's see if I can ignore defense, and there we go, 50k one-shot. Again, you're seeing him, this is a, what, 225k power team, so decent artifacts on these champions I'm attacking as well. It's not like they're just, you know, glass tanks or anything like that. They're, you know, pretty formidable champions that we're facing here, and we're looking pretty good. So now let's go ahead and try his A1 because we don't have the cooldown on the A2 anymore. So let's go ahead and try to see if we can one-shot. It is a negative, yeah, let's go for it. We might get a weak hit here. We did get a weak hit, but we still hit on the second hit for 15k, 14k. So able to take down Mountain King. And as you guys can see here, he's doing all the damage for my squad. So again, is he, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, whoa, look at these, the crazy damage, guys. But, you know, serviceable, right? Serviceable. Let's try one more arena fight here with Lordly Legionary. And then we'll take him into, campaign and then Fire Knight to kind of end the video out. Fire Knight, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I should do Fire Knight 19 or 20. Like, I don't know if you guys would rather find it more useful to see him going against a positive affinity, or if you want me to just throw him in the deep end and see how he can do. And let's see if we can one-shot here. We don't there. And I really don't want Seeker to go, so we'll just go ahead and do, oh, didn't land that either. Of course, the negative affinity attempt there as well. But anyway, I'm not sure if I should go, frankly, with the, did I not steal any buffs there? Okay. If we should go 19 or 20, I don't know. Let me know, guys. So the whole enemy team's going to go right now. I'm going to try to, let's see if I can get Ray down. Okay, 63k. Again, he's hitting hard enough to be, if you wanted to build kind of a team like this, a comp like this, he could be, you know, your main or secondary damage dealer, again, depending on the champions you have. Because he's free, I see free-to-play players actually getting, some free-to-play players getting a little bit of usage out of him. He just dies there to the bomb, but whatever. We'll finish this one out right here. And, okay, right here. There we go. All right, let's take him into Fire Campaign real quick, just to show what kind of damage he can do in, you know, Brutal Campaign. He's definitely not like a campaign farmer, but just to kind of illustrate his damage in one quick match here. So he's my only champ. No aura on him, so we'll have to continue through that. We'll just put it on auto. I believe he starts off with his A2, and he does. So 64k on the A2, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be around like that 15 to 20k range on the A1, right? 11, and then he goes again 16k. So again, you know, 61k on the A2. He hasn't done his third ability yet, huh? I'm assuming it's going to be next. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so interesting. He just keeps going with the damage dealers here. I think he's going to wait till he's low on health. So, okay, that makes sense. The A3 won't trigger until he's actually lost, you know, a little bit of his health, which makes sense, right? And I'm assuming that would be the lowest ally health that he'd be healing up, or triggering his A2. So as long as any of your allies need a little bit of a continuous heal for a couple turns. So having that heal ability, you know, with a significant amount of damage, again, for a free champ, we've seen a lot better, but, you know, we've also probably seen worse too. So let's go to, and again, man, I wish that he's a champion that I see maybe getting a little buff. I don't know, Plarium, if you're watching, maybe consider giving him a little buff, right? Because you didn't give us the affinity, you didn't give us the proper affinity on this dude. I don't know why they make a magic affinity. All right, so anyway, yeah, so 18 would be the Spirit Affinity. That would be his best. So farming Fire Knight 18 would be the best route. If there was an Epic only tournament, I'd probably just run him on, well, I wouldn't run him at all, but if I was a free-to-play player or something, I'd probably just run him on 18. But anyway, let's move, assuming you could get there, right? I guess I'll try stage 20. Yeah, let's just see how he does in stage 20. Again, let me know in the comments below in the future videos if you'd like, okay, we get it, he can survive. Like, this team is definitely going to be successful 100% of the time, but it's probably going to be like a 3 to 4 minute run, you know? Because he's not going to be helping out at all with damage. Look at, it's all Force Affinity that we're going against. Look at, weak hits, 9k damage. It's going to be on the rest of the team to kind of carry through these waves, and you know, he's a damage dealer. Weak hits in 2,000, 1,000. So again, you know, I mean, it's going to be an easy, when we get to Fire Knight, it's going to be easy, but you know what, screw this. I'm not going to make you guys sit there and wait for, you know, 5 minutes. I'm 100% sure it will be successful, that's fine. But the weak hits, and that's what sucks about him, right? That's what sucks about him. Oh no, are we missing an artifact on Coldheart? No! The boots! I put the boots on, what do I need? let me just throw something on here, guys, real quick. I need speed. I have the need for speed here. Does she need crit rate? Yeah, she does. Okay. So let me just, I'll come right back to you guys. All right, all better there, guys. I actually took the boots off of Coldheart to put on Lordly Legionary. Let's just go to stage 18 so you can actually see him in a positive affinity matchup, and that ought to be a little bit better in terms of time. So again here, guys, that's the problem, right? That's the problem when it comes to him is, man, geez, if he was Spirit, I'd be much more excited about his viability in endgame Fire Knight and say, okay, he's a Fire Knight specialist and that's cool. But he's just not going to be able to. But again, you know, I keep repeating the same things here, but it's worth mentioning, right? That he is, if you're, not everybody's at Fire Knight 20, right? So he's a free champion at the end of the day. He could help you get there, you know? So I think that it's worth stating that not everybody's in the same position. So I think some people will have a use for this champion, just not endgame players. Probably early to mid-game players, right around that 150 days where you actually unlock him, you should probably be in. Of course, now we have a negative affinity with Shiramani, so shame on me, but you know, at least it's going to be a faster run. So you guys, let me know what you think of this champion. Are you as down on him as I am, with the caveats that I've already mentioned in this video, or do you see a use that maybe I didn't see? This is basically as end game as you can build him. I mean, obviously I could put him in a little bit better gear, but trying out the Savage set, pushing his crit damage to 250 or so, you know, you can't build him out to be much stronger, and yet, you know, he's not blowing us away, right? So let me know what you think of him, but you'll see the synergy between him and Coldheart when we actually get to. Same thing with, he would work well with a Coldheart and a Skullcrusher in the same team for Fire Knight. If you're lucky to have both Coldheart, Skullcrusher, and Lordly Legionary, you'll be having the double chance of landing those heal reduction, and then he'll be hitting for 4 times every time on his A1. So finally at the Fire Knight here, took us about a minute and 40 seconds or so. Heatseeker is burned, unfortunately, on his shield. Once we get the shield down, the goal is, let's see, if that, or a Heartseeker, I always call it Heatseeker because it's like a heat-seeking missile. But if the Heartseeker had landed now, we would have to not break through that shield twice, but it looks like we're going to be fine here. He might land actually the heal here. Shiramani's going to land hers too, and he does. So the reflect and the continuous heal is up. This team's not going to die. Plenty of support on this team, and once this shield goes down, he's not going to, there we go. So 25k, that was on his, was that his A2 there? I think it was. Interesting, now we have the decreased heal, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 hits, starting to add up. Not too bad, I guess, you know. Now the Heartseeker's landing didn't crit, I don't think there, so, or maybe it did, I don't know. But again, he's going to be hitting 4 times every time, so this is where you see the value out of him potentially, you know, if he had the right affinity in stage 4. But even still, you know, this is going to be a 3-minute run, 3-minute, 20-second run maybe, and it's a pretty good team. You know, 2 legendaries on the team, couple epics, also a rare champion, although it is Coldheart. So, you know, there's some use cases for this champion, but he's definitely not blowing me away. He's not as good as the previous epic champion, Dark Elaine. I think she's way better than this champion, way worth 6-starring before this champion. And you could say the same thing about the earlier champion unlocks, such as High Katoon. She would be much better and more useful than this champion. So we called it 3 minute and 20 second. We said it is 3 minutes and 19 seconds, but either way, Fire Knight does have some insane gear, some of the best gear in the game, one of the best places to farm in the game, and Lowly Legionary can probably help you in those efforts. Here's finishing at 650k damage, more damage than anybody else on the team. That's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope this video was able to provide you with an example of what an endgame Lowly Legionary would look like, help you kind of gauge whether or not you want to invest in this character. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, and as always, take care, guys.